Hey folks, welcome. This is the Roman Pirate and this is Division Survival. Great game, great part of the game. So I used to play it a hell of a lot, and since I jumped back on the Division just for something to do, I'm now thinking, oh man, this is really good. We need to remember this for what it is. General gist of it is you're an agent who is in a helicopter crash and finds themselves infected with God knows what, waking up in the cold streets of New York, and you need to survive and extract. Okay, so everything you need to survive and extract is there on the map somewhere for you to find. Those clever ones among us know where everything is and can go about that and do it all really quickly. But for those of you like me that just play this game, and just generally enjoy themselves, it's an actual game. You've got to go out and work hard to survive and get away. So, you have two things to worry about. Bad guys, well, it's more than two, it's three things. Bad guys killing you, being killed by the cold, or worse still, succumbing to the actual virus itself. Everything you need to survive is out and about on the map. Okay, so as we've stepped outside, we can see this like minus 33 up in the top right, but our clothes will keep us warm to minus 2. So we can run about for a little bit. You need to light those barrels to keep yourself warm, as well as collecting gear from all around the place. There's different types of gear to collect in the form of pills and things that will help stave off the infection, med kits to revive yourself, weapons parts so that you can build better and stronger and more powerful weapons. All of this stuff is out there. There's also electronics and tools. All of these bits are needed when you're crafting. So you go about your game. You can do what you want. You can just run around blind for all you care. But for me, I would run around looking for bits, looking for little keys and things that will show up for me. So with the bad guys involved, there was one at the end of that corridor, left hand side. Okay, I can take this fight because I'm inside, and therefore I will not be getting cold while running, dodging them about. I've got my pistol, and that's all I've got in a minute. I've got to either find a gun or craft a gun. Once you've dispatched some of the bad guys, they've dropped some loot. Green loot is the basic loot. Blue loot, we'll call it medium loot. You then get purple loot, which is pretty good. Yeah, that's like hard loot. And then you've got the gold loot, which is the best. And then that you can sort of make when you get enough stuff. What you do find when you're playing the game is you're constantly having to find little safe areas to nip in so you can put on your new gear or put on your hat, put on your gloves and all that kind of business to keep you warm and keep you alive. As you run about the map, it is difficult to see, and that kind of, I like that, it's difficult for you to be seen, it's difficult for you to see them. But when you take your fights, you have to be careful, because here I'm fighting it out in the open, but I know I've got that little tunnel behind me that I can run back to if I get too darn cold. As I fight this fight, sometimes you've got to push, sometimes you've got to ease off. They drop some more loot, which is a bonus, so that's why it makes it sort of worthwhile to try and take fights where you can. Here I sort of have a little kerfuffle in my head and think, oh, I'll go into this building, but it turned out, oh dear, it didn't revitalise, so I had to run back to the corridor. When you are out and about moving, the key point for me, I find, is to get yourself a better weapon, sharpish. Yes, the pistol will help you and be fine against these little red bad guys. You can see there, it's knocking off the damage quite easily. But the problem is, the deeper into the game you get, the harder the bad guys get. So it is imperative that you find or craft yourself a decent gun. You could craft a gun by collecting up loads of weapons parts, or like me, you can just play your luck, keep killing people and trying to find that gun. So here I'm just about to go in to get some electronics. By blowing that little bomb up, it activates, well not activates, but it alerts the bad guys nearby. Hey, there's someone in this building. So then I go on to the defensive, duck down, and I know they're coming. And that's what I find helps, is when you can channel people into where you want them to come from. So the guy comes through, the other one's jumped over the side there. I can see that they've dropped some loot out there, which makes me happy inside, warm, fuzzy feeling. You can see that I have got a poor connection to the host, by the way that guy sort of died and I wasn't really shooting at him. You head out, you can grab your loot, and there's a nice pair of trousers. Oh, did you see that chap run by? So yes, I'm on the PvE version. I did pick up this RPK off of one of those dead bodies out there. But on the PvE version, everyone's friendly that you meet. On the PvP, not so much. PvE is good. I enjoy it. I don't want to have to worry about fighting other people. I want to play my game and just enjoy it and get myself out. As I get into contact here, I'm confronted with my first purple. Thankfully, I've got a decent gun, but you can see he hits me hard straight away. So I use a first aid kit, pop what I thought was a grenade, but it was just a flashbang, not much use. And I only had 3 or 4 bullets in the gun, so bad mistake by me there. And I pay for it. I get knocked, but because I've got 2 first aid kits, I'm able to revive myself without having to worry about it. So you do get a chance. You do get like an extra life, let's say, as long as you've got first aid kits. And they can be found dotted around the map, predominantly around ambulances and things like that. But every little box you open, every little bag you look in, there may be something there for you. So that's why it's important to look in everywhere. In this run through, I jumped down into the sewers and spent a lot of time down here running around and came out with loads of decent loot. Well, I say loads of decent loot. I got myself a sniper rifle, and that's what I like to run with. If I can run with an RPK and a sniper rifle, I'd be happy all day long. So with the sniper rifle, it makes a hell of a difference straight away. Look at that, one shot and stuff, blowing shit up. Yeah, it's knocking half the health off the red guys straight away. So that's a great addition. And if I do play, I tend to always try and get a sniper rifle so that I can get the damage dealt easily. Once you've gathered up enough essential stuff, you can come up to the crafting station, find one of them, and the main thing you've got to build to get into the dark zone, you need to build yourself a filter and a flare. So basic virus filter, it tells you what you need to build it, but because I've been running around for so long, I had loads of stuff on me, so I was able to build the flare gun. I don't think I bothered building the filter. You can build your weapon mods. For me, I wanted extended magazines on both guns, and I probably should have built a sight or something like that, but I go down the other route and I think I end up building a suppressor for my gun. You can see it tells you the amount of resources you require. Long story short, you can spend as much time as you want in here crafting things, going back out, finding bits and bobs, so that you've got a perfect amount of gear for when you go back out. So as ever, I'm putting on all my extra bits and bobs and getting rid of the stuff I don't need. Reason being I'm getting rid of that stuff is when you deconstruct stuff, it will give you back an element of stuff that's made it, i.e. it might give you some fabric. If it's a weapons, it's going to give you weapon parts depending on the colour of the weapon. The colour of the weapons works exactly the same as the colour of the bad guys, so everything is nice and simple. Here I've crafted up a pulse so that I can find out where bad guys are. It's one of my favourite things to use out here because it gives me that little bit of extra. You can also go and do landmarks. So I see a landmark up towards the direction I have to head anyway. So I click on it, and by the time I get there, you can just see down in the right hand corner that there Super J 1973, is it? Had just gone down, and looking down I can see all of the purple stuff he's got, and he's had the exact same idea as me. He's come down here first, so do you know what? I just have a quick look at the boots, run down to see if there's anything I can take or use that he might leave or forget is there, but to alas, no dramas. I have to pull out of there. So when I do come back up, as I'm getting closer to the dark zone, the bad guys get harder, but also they start to drop better loot. I've knocked off a guy there, he's dropped to purple, so I can just take my time, use the cover and maneuver sort of aspect of this game. It is a cover shooter, don't forget, so you can use that to your advantage. Maneuver around, especially in these built up areas, and I'm just waiting and looking. I'm safe in cover, got all the time in the world. If I can land those headshots, it's always a bonus, and it's going to just drop people. So I'm grabbing armor, I'm grabbing stuff, anything I can get my hands on, because it is all about being able to deal damage once you get into the dark zone and have to fight the bigger bad guys. So I grab all that gear and start heading towards that marker in the far distance is the entrance to the dark zone. Stop by the fire to get warm, but also to put on my new kit and have a quick little look and see what I've got. Once I'm content and put on all the bits that I need to put on, I'm going to make my way straight into that dark zone. It's always a bit of a management, and you look at some of the stats on the guns, on the equipment, and it will say extra shotgun damage, extra SMG damage, but for me, I'm usually thinking, right, I just want to hit headshots and hit headshots hard. Once you get into the dark zone, things change again. The temperature gets a little bit cooler, you last a little bit longer outside. But on top of that, you've got to go and find little packages like these, the sealed gear caches. You notice now that I have a yellow hazardous duty bag, let's say, or hazardous waste bag attached to my butt cheeks. And that is where they go. You can carry 6 of them, and you get them from around the map, but also from killing named bosses and things like that. Now that I'm into the Dark Zone, I'm taking my fights as I can. You don't have to take the fights all the time. If you can dodge your way around, you can dodge your way around. Here I get bite off a bit more than I can chew, get dropped. I've still got 2 first aid kits because I built another one. So I pull myself out of there, get to a bit of a shielded position. Now this was a tense time because I'm hitting the shots, but I am sort of taking damage as well. And I go right to the cusp. And I'm thinking, right, do I pop? No, I don't want to pop my medical because I just want to just wait. If I get knocked, I get knocked, and then I'll have to use it and it will give me some health. However, I'm able to just hold off, wait a little bit, and once I've grabbed their loot, then it's just a case you've got to get to the antivirals. Now they're always marked up on your map, and you can see that little spyglass, not spyglass, magnifying glass. That isn't showing their location. So I've made my way through the map, killing bad guys that get in the way, grabbing as much loot as I can find as I go, so that I can get there, get these antivirals, because you need to get the antivirals out. But on top of that, once you get them, you're allowed to then build the actual flare gun itself. So I dip in here, grab the antivirals and the div tech required to to create a flare gun, and well, I can contemplate getting into a dust up, but then decide just to pull out, get back to the main area, and craft the flare gun. So now I have everything I need to make my escape. Not quite. I've got to build as much stuff as I can to make me a more powerful and better agent, so that I can take on the end boss. That's right, there's an end boss. It's not anything too major or incredible. It's just a guy called the Hunter. So I spend my time umming and ahhing of what to put on where and what to make and what not to make. And I generally just try to make myself a little bit harder, a little bit stronger, a little bit faster, but also dealing damage. So you can spend quite a lot of time in and around the Dark Zone. It's all up to you, but don't forget your time is slowly running out. Yes, the pills and the injections will stave off the infection for about 8 minutes at a time, but eventually you're going to run out of time and you have to extract. So once I've made everything I can with about 10 minutes left on the clock, I start making my way towards the extraction. Once I arrive at extraction, that's when the fun starts. I get myself into the middle of the helo pad, call in the extraction. Now everything starts to go a little bit funny, the screen goes a bit wibbly wobbly and you hear a crackling in your ears. Basically that means that the hunter's on his way. So the hunter, they come in various different types. I get myself down, I'm in an elevated position, I'm quite happy and confident until I get my first shot off on him. I pinged him there with my pulse. I'm like, okay, that's not too bad. So that was a one shot, took about a quarter of his health off, but he's got his health recharger out. That's that big green circle that he's fighting from, and he just seems to be hitting me hard. I think I was quite a squishy kind of character here. He hits me with a flash grenade and that makes me stand up, but I'm able to get back into cover, and I decide I'm going to try and FaceTime him, tank him and all that business. So I pop out my healer myself, and it's just, he's just in cover. It's there. If I could have hit 2 shots on the bounce, that would have been great, but I was unable to. And then lo and behold, just as I'm trying to engage him and trying to knock him, I notice that I'm giving health to someone else. Oh, another character's turned up. So this now means that because he's here and on site, there will be a hunter for him as well. So we now have 2 hunters down there, and I'm trying to locate at least one of them. He's running with a sniper as well, so I know that we're both sorted, and he must have a good one because he dropped my hunter straight away with his sniper. So the second hunter arrives. Now we can do a little bit of tandem work here. He's chucked out his turret bonus, he runs with one of them. Because I was on my own, I had the health, but look at this, we're able to just force the hunter into an area where we can get shots on him. And this is why it's good to have a sniper rifle, because you don't have to go down there and FaceTime him. I'm able to land shots from distance, and I'm hoping to hit a crit shot like that. 79 damage, boom. Hit him with a second crit shot, knock him in the head, he is out for the count. That was his hunter, this one was mine. I grabbed the sealed weapons cache. He doesn't bother grabbing his, but I think I've got a full pouch. You can only carry 6, and I'd been in the game for quite a while. So I climb into the chopper. Once you're in the chopper, you know you're safe. The mission's complete, you're getting out. There's a little cutscene, it shows you flying away, and it takes you back to the main base where you get a précis of what you've done. You also get a hell of a lot of loot that you can then use on your main character. This was a quick run through. I hope you've liked it. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up for the like, please.